Okay everyone, so I can tell that a lot of you liked the previous video about the carnivorous locusts. Wow, that was a major discovery there, finding out that, I mean, unbelievably, locusts could fulfill Revelation where John says that they won't eat any green thing, but they will sting man. Now, we still need to know how they're going to sting man, and that it's going to be like torturous, the pain is going to be unbearable. It says that they'll have stings like scorpions. Now, a while ago I did some research into this. I think I typed in like scorpion locust, and there is a locust that does look like a scorpion. I'll try and find that picture. Yeah, it's really interesting. So we could be looking at something like this. But what I discovered following that video, I mean, it just gets better. I found something else about the smoke of the pit, that, as John calls it. He says that the locusts come out of the smoke of the pit being the volcano. Okay, so when this volcano erupts, the smoke that comes out of the pit, John says the locusts will come out of it, the angel of the abyss. Now, what I'd like to point out, I've been through this several times in other videos, and I've written about it in my book. I did a lot of research into Revelation, and a lot of people think that Apollyon the Destroyer in Revelation 9 is going to be a man, but that does not fit with the rest of Revelation. All of the 7 angels in Revelation are supernatural. They represent disasters, catastrophes. Okay, so when John says that the angel emerges from the pit and his name is the Destroyer, this is a supernatural event here. It's a supernatural reference, and this was the case with the seals as well. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse aren't actual men, apart from one of them, because it says that this horseman wears a crown. And in the Bible, when you keep it in context with the rest, crowns are references to kings, okay, or a king receiving their kingdom. So only one of the horsemen in Revelation 6 is a man. The rest represent supernatural angels, okay, and those remaining horsemen were the First World War, the Great Depression, and World War II. The most revelation-worthy events of all time. Anyway, so in Revelation 9, again, it does say the angel of the abyss, okay? Angels represent catastrophes in the Bible. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Now, what I found online about the smoke of the pit, I thought I'd do a search for locusts coming out of smoke, out of volcanoes. I thought, is this how a bunch of locusts could suddenly spread throughout the world? Could they come out of a volcano, okay, the smoke of the pit? And could this new breed of locusts emerge from a volcanic eruption, one that we don't know about, okay, and they'll have those scorpion tails that sting men? Well, you won't believe this, but shortly after doing that video, I found this. New technology developed at NOAA, NOAA, that's that Northern Oceanic Atmospheric Research Centre or something like that. You probably know it from the weather app, yeah? Yeah, it's great. I used to have like a NOAA app on my phone, you know, as a survival thing. Yeah, very useful. Anyway, new technology developed at NOAA is helping FAO track the locust swarms and plan control efforts such as insecticide spraying. NOAA says it has repurposed technology that's used to track plumes from volcanoes. Plumes from volcanoes, okay, so smoke of the pit. And wildfires into a web application that FAO can use to anticipate the migratory paths of billions of locusts. Okay? So NOAA are using information gathered from plumes of volcanoes to track the migratory paths of billions of locusts. Wow. So there we have it. There's John's Revelation 9, the locusts coming out of the smoke of the pit. I mean, we could be looking at locusts coming out of a volcanic eruption, okay. Following the eruption, I mean, it could just like open up something underground where all these locusts come out of, okay. And then they sting man. So yeah, there we have locusts tied in with the smoke of the pit, volcanoes. And I think this is like just more evidence that we are definitely talking about a volcanic eruption in Revelation 8 and throughout, you know, through 9 and 10, and this big eruption, well, several eruptions, because there seem to be more in 10. The repercussions of all of this are just going to cause absolute chaos. We'll then have Revelation 12 and 13, where you've got China and the US trying to get a one world government. And of course they'll use all the catastrophes and world wars as an excuse. We need control for the natural disasters. Okay, we need peace because of world wars, and in order to get that we're going to have a world government. Okay, and the intentions will be good, but then we have the Antichrist who takes over that world government. Wow, there we go. There's no doubt in my mind now. Well, there never was. I mean, you've got a great mountain burning with fire. You know, that's pretty obvious what that is. But I think what a lot of people didn't realise is that the rest of Revelation is also because of this eruption. Okay. Wormwood, the star that is known as wormwood, falling to the earth and opening this pit. Now, I mean, I propose that was a comet, and that this comet brings with it a deadly virus. Okay, this can happen. Pandemics, plagues throughout history have been tied in with comets appearing in the sky, because the comet breaks up whatever it's brought with it, and gets dispersed into the atmosphere. So yeah, there is mention of a plague that pollutes all the waters and all of that, and that wiping out a third of man. A third of all sea life. And then there's another war that wipes out a third of man later on. So that's going to be happening as well as this volcano erupting. Okay, I think this eruption could be a super eruption, but it will be an ongoing thing, and there's going to be a lot of other eruptions, you know. And well, there we go, John. He says there will be locusts, carnivorous locusts, and lo and behold, that is starting to happen, and that they'll emerge from this smoke of the pit. And I've just seen NOAA mention that that's what they're doing. They're trying to track down migratory passive locusts by observing volcano smoke, plumes of smoke from volcano. Wow. Now what's interesting is it says that NOAA are using the plumes from volcanoes and wildfires to try and track these locusts. So perhaps the locusts follow these plumes, and that's how they track them. Or it might be so that they can see the direction that the wind is blowing. You know, they'll use the smoke to try and guess where the locusts are gonna go to next. Anyway, it says the application works by tracking and forecasting wind patterns. The desert locust is a passive flying species that typically follows the wind. There we go. Yeah, exactly. So if the plume of smoke coming out of the pit is going to be blowing with the wind, following the wind direction, well, the locusts follow that as well. Knowing wind patterns can help UN authorities pre-position material and personnel in an effort to prevent croplands from being destroyed. Right, so if they know where the wind's blowing and the smoke is going to follow that wind, then they know where the locusts are going to turn up. Right now it mainly works by tracking wind patterns, Cohen explained. At present there is no functionality to attempt to incorporate locust breeding patterns. Additional features could potentially be added to the system if the relevant scientific information about locust behaviour can be identified and if resources were available for this type of extension. Talking about making this information available in an app, you know, I guess for farmers who need to know if their crops are going to be devoured by locusts or not. Despite the progress, FAO announced this week that new swarms have found their way to India. But we have a major locust problem, okay, since 2020 I think. It's just getting worse, and I think they're saying that it's partly because of global warming, okay. The change in the climate is allowing these locusts to flourish, which isn't good. The freak weather has caused all kinds of other freakish things to take place, okay, like these locusts. And I think I saw a documentary. I saw a documentary on the Humboldt squid, and how if climate change continues as it is, then the ocean could just be full of these Humboldt squid and nothing else, because they'll, you know, they'll benefit the most from the change in climate. So yeah, we've got all kinds of weird stuff going on. Ooh, hang on. Oh, not good, guys, not good. The World Meteorological oh my word. The World Meteorological what kind of name is that? Meteorological organisation says higher than average Indian Ocean temperatures are producing devastating flash floods in Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan and Uganda. WMO worries the conditions will make it easier for the locusts to breed in greater numbers. WMO said in a release, although control operations have reduced locust populations, another generation of breeding will cause locust numbers to increase further as new hopper bands and swarms form in Kenya, Ethiopia and Somalia during May and June. Here we go then, guys. It's getting biblical, this locust problem, okay? But who would have thought they'd be carnivorous? And that they would follow plumes of smoke from volcanoes, fitting precisely with John in Revelation 9. Amazing.